In last video we discussed about the sun in Capricorn. In this video we are going to talk about a very important and interesting topic of lunar eclipse. What happens during the lunar eclipse and what is the impact you are going to face of the lunar eclipse in 2019. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanic Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani, help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic astrology. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. These videos will help you raise your vibrations and help you go further faster into Vedic astrological studies. And if you're not following me on Instagram, well, this is my ID. Go follow me on Instagram. If you have any questions, put them into the comment section or you can direct message me on Instagram. I read all the comments and try to reply to all the comments. And if you are looking for the reading or consultation, check out the link into the description section. Lunar eclipse. What happens during a lunar eclipse? Lunar eclipse is when you have sun, earth and moon in alignment, in a straight line. But before we talk about the state of the eclipse, the lunar eclipse, we have to understand the sun, moon and earth. Earth is revolving around the sun and it takes 365 days. We all know that. We call it an year. Moon takes 30 days to revolve around the earth. We call it a month. Lunar eclipse is when sun, earth and moon are in straight line. The direct light of sun cannot reach to the moon due to the earth. We talked about the earth and moon's rotation, but there is a twist to it. The moon's orbit to the earth is quite tilted. It's tilted by 5 degrees, 5.8 degrees according to the Surya Siddhanta. So even if it is a full moon, it is not always the lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse is when moon is entering into the shadow of the earth. What is the shadow of earth? Earth is restricting the direct light of the sun and so creating a shadow. And when moon enters into this shadow, it appears black because of the shadow. And this is the lunar eclipse. But we oftentimes see moon red. Why the moon is red when it is in shadow? It should appear black or it should not be visible at all, right? But it is visible and it is red. This is called a supermoon or blood moon because of its redness. It has some other significance, but we are not going to get into that details in this video. So the direct sunlight when enters into the atmosphere of earth gets spread. The blue rays, which are the shorter rays or the lighter rays, get dispersed and the red rays get refracted, and that is the reason the moon is red during the eclipse. We have 3 types of eclipse. First is total eclipse, when sun enters into the darkest shadow of the earth. Then we have the partial eclipse, when the part of the moon enters into the darkest shadow of the earth. And we have the penumbral eclipse. This is the eclipse when moon enters into the penumbra. Penumbra is a shadow. There are 2 types of shadows, umbra and penumbra. Umbra is the darkest shadow and the penumbra is the lighter shadow or the outer shadows of the earth created by the sunlight. So when moon enters into the penumbral area or the penumbral shadow, it is the penumbral lunar eclipse. Okay, this is an astronomical phenomena and we can see the lunar eclipse with naked eyes. And we can see the lunar eclipse with the naked eyes because it is all about the distance. We cannot see the solar eclipse as easily as we can see the lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse, by the way, Moon is 2,39 miles away from Earth and Sun is 930 lakhs miles away from Earth, and both appear almost same size. Appear, I would say. Sun is that big. So what is the astrological significance of the lunar eclipse? Lunar eclipse, as the name suggests, the eclipse of the moon. This lunar eclipse happening in 21st January 2019 from India. We are not going to experience this or see this lunar eclipse from India, South Asia or Australia, but friends from Europe, East Africa and Russia can experience this lunar eclipse. What is the astrological significance of this lunar eclipse? This lunar eclipse is happening in Cancer Rashi and the Capricorn Rashi. Yes, these are the sidereal Rashis we are talking about. So these are the sidereal signs we are talking about. Cancer, the moon is in Cancer in its own sign and Sun is in the Capricorn. We talked about it a lot, and if you have not watched the Sun in Capricorn video, I would recommend you watch that video. You will enjoy this video even more. So we are talking about the placement of Sun and Moon. Lunar eclipse always happen on the full moon when Sun and Moon are opposite. So you will always see the placement of Sun and Moon opposite to each other, like 180 degrees or 6 rashis away from each other, 7 rashis away from each other. Right now Moon is in the sign of Cancer, so Sun is in the sign of Capricorn, 7 places away from each other. That is full moon, and we have eclipse. Okay, and we have already discussed why we don't have eclipse on every full moon, because the orbit of the moon is quite tilted, so they are not always in line, Sun, Earth and Moon. Okay, so yes, we are talking about the astrological significance of it. It is happening in 4th and 10th Rashi. You should also consider this as this happening in the 4th and 10th houses. So those who are experiencing this lunar eclipse will see a unusual change in their residence, in their learnings, in their private life, as well as in the workplace. Not more into the workplace. Why? Because it is the Sun and it is a lunar eclipse. It is the moon which is getting shadowed by the earth from the sunlight. Okay, so it is the moon which is getting impacted. So the sign of moon is the key element here in the lunar eclipse. So you have to look for, if you have moon, ascendant, sun or any planet in the sign of Cancer, you will feel the intensity of this lunar eclipse even more. I won't say good or bad, it all depends upon how that planet is for your horoscope. Okay, we are talking about a standalone impact of the lunar eclipse on the horoscopes. When you have a lunar eclipse, the most impacted house is the house in which the moon is placed, your natal moon is placed, as well as the Rashi in which the eclipse is happening. In this case, it's happening in the sign of Cancer. You have to start reminding all the Cancer significations. What is Cancer? Cancer is all about your mother, is about your home, is about your nourishment, is about your learnings, it about your readings, it is about your education, the basic education which mother gives to you, can also be seen from the 4th house. So all this is now getting eclipsed. So what are the Rashis which will get impacted? Good or bad, I won't say. So we should not generalize this. It is very personalized, customized and specified very specific to your chart. If you have Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn as your ascendant, your sun, moon or your ascendant lord, you will feel the intensity of this lunar eclipse even more. Let's take an example. Suppose you have Venus. We can relate to relationships quite easily. That's why I usually take Venus to explain any example, because we can relate to a relationship very easily. Okay, so if you have Venus, and if you suppose you have Venus in the sign of Cancer, and now moon is getting eclipsed conjunct Ketu in the Cancer, what it shows is either it would be good or bad for your Venusian things. You might feel drawn towards them, or you might feel to distance yourself from it. It all depends upon how good your Venus is. So if you have Venus in the sign of Cancer, it is going to impact it. If you have ascendant if you have Cancer ascendant, now you have this intense eclipsed energy transiting over your most important point, your ascendant. Your 4th house, 7th house, 10th house, ascendant, moon, Venus, it will have a different impact. So we can't generalize this. Lunar eclipse happen when you have sun, moon and earth in alignment. When the sun's direct light cannot reach the moon, it goes into the shadow of the earth. It is the lunar eclipse. Okay, and lunar eclipse can only happen on the full moon. Lunar eclipse can only happen on full moon day when sun and moon are opposite. But the lunar eclipse does not happen on every full moon. And why? Because the orbit of moon around the earth is quite tilted. That's why these three are not always in the same line. And what are the rashis are going to impact? Wherever you have the important reference point in your horoscope, like if you have a Kendra or 1, 4, 10, 1, 4, 7, 10 house having the Capricorn or Cancer Rashi, these lagnas are going to get the intense results, be it good or bad. And the result is always the series of event or a sudden event. Okay, so yes, this was lunar eclipse as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. Keep watching Pramanic Astrology channel. Share this video with your friends and family. And sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.